Hello, my name's Phil and I work for the Customer Services Department at the Hozelock Head Office in Birmingham. With over 50 years horticultural expertise, we at Hozelock understand the rewards of gardening and want to help you get the best from your garden. So in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble and install the 20-metre auto reel. Please bear in mind that the reel does need to be assembled to a solid wall, a brick wall or masonry. And the tools you'll need are an electric drill with a 7mm masonry drill bit, a slotted screwdriver and a spirit level just to make sure the installation's level and square. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is line the bracket up against the wall and make sure it's nice and level. There's nothing worse than having something screwed to the wall that's not level. So we're going to put a little spirit level on the top of it like that and then just turn it to make sure that it's nice and level. What we're going to do now is mark through the drill holes with a pencil just so that we can line up the screw holes on the wall when we take the bracket away. So I'm just going to put a pencil through there and spot through into the 4 drill holes. When we take the bracket away, we'll then see where we've got to drill our 7mm hole. So we've fitted a 7mm masonry drill into the drill and we're going to drill a hole into the wall approximately 40mm deep. Here we go. So now we've drilled the hole, we're going to push the raw plug into the hole till it's flush with the hole. Okay, so we've drilled the 4 holes and put the raw plugs in, and I've fitted the bracket to the wall and I've started the 4 screws into the raw plugs. But before we fully tighten, I'm just going to recheck with the spirit level just to make sure it's level, and that seems fine. So now I'm going to fully tighten the screws with an electric screwdriver drill. So we've fitted the auto reel to the wall bracket and I'm now going to push the pivot tube all the way through the auto reel and through the wall bracket, noting that the park point, the male park point, is facing towards the front of the product, and we just push the pivot tube straight down through the both of products. So the next thing we're going to do is fit the water inlet hose into the reel. And to do that we have to take out this white fitting, taking out the 2 screws, which I'll do now. Now we've removed the 2 screws, we can now just pull this white inlet fitting out of the reel, like so. What we have to do now is obtain the inlet hose and push it up through this channel so that it comes out into the centre of the reel like that. Pull a good quantity through so that you've got plenty of room to work, and then we can fit the white inlet moulding to this hose like so. We slide the little grey nut down, push the hose into the centre of this ring of claws, pushing it firmly in and twisting the hose so that it goes all the way in. We can then tighten the nut on like so until it's nice and tight. We can then refit this back into the centre where we got it from by pulling the excess hose out through the reel, pushing the inlet moulding in and refitting the 2 screws. Now we've fitted the inlet, we'll just make sure that it's fully tight by tightening the nut just a little bit further to make sure it's nice and tight. So the last job to finish the assembly off is to fit the cover plate. We do that by making sure the Hozelock logo is horizontal, twisting it slowly so that it locates the 3 lugs, and then just push it in place. So the next job we're going to do is fit the nozzle and fitting to the end of the hose. This is the end of the hose that you'll take up your garden. So we're going to use this yellow, grey and red fitting and put that on the end of the hose. To do that we just take off the grey nut, it's very similar to what we did before on the inlet, and slide the nut up the hose, push the end of the hose into the red fitting and tighten the nut up fully by hand like so. And finally click your spray nozzle into the end and that's it. So before we can use the hose, I'd just like to point out this safety feature. On the side of the reel here you'll see a little lever which is actually a child lock. You can use this to lock the hose in the extended position while you're using it up the garden. But before you can use the hose for the first time, you need to move it into the unlock position like so. You can now pull the hose out as you require and use it up the garden. So if you do want to lock the hose in the extended position while you're using it up the garden, you have to make sure that you pull the hose out till you get one of the clicks and then put it into the lock position like so. So to use your hose and to extend it from the case, all you need to do is pull the hose out until you hear a series of clicks. You'll hear up to 4 clicks. As soon as you hear those clicks, as long as you stop pulling the hose, the mechanism inside will hold the hose out at that point. So I'll just show you how to do that now. As you can see, the hose is now held out and I don't need to worry about it going back into the case on its own, and I can start to water the garden or do whatever I want to do with the hose, wash my car or something like that. When I've finished and I want to store the hose back into the case, all I need to do is pull a little bit more hose out so it goes past the clicks, and then the hose will be automatically retracted back into the case and stored nice and neat, ready for next time. And finally, we can tidy things up by just taking the nozzle off by sliding the yellow collar back on the fitting. Put that somewhere safe, and then this fitting then is stored at its part point, which is on the back of the reel, by just clicking it into place like that. And that's it. That's it. Job done.